Yes, we are.
Okay, everyone, please welcome them with big hand.
Thank you everybody for joining us today. In our presentation, we are going to talk about improving the disaster prevention application. We have 4 students from Ritsumeikan University and 2 students from ShuteB University.
Our main target is Goal 11 of SDGs with sustainable cities and communities. By developing the instructions and information, we try to increase the acceptance and reliability of disaster prevention application.
Next, we will introduce our issue and data collection. Then we will present our results. Finally, we will talk about developing an application and practical implications.
As we all know, there are many disasters in the world, such as tornadoes, floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. For example, Japan has a lot of natural disasters, and Taiwan too.
In our research, the purpose is to develop effective and efficient hazard map application. This hazard map application will be based on the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. There are 7 targets to achieve, and we will focus on 3 of them. Number 1, reduce disaster deaths. Number 5, increase disaster risk mitigation strategies. Number 7, diverse disaster early warning systems. We will develop an application that delivers the diversified disaster caution and detailed information on the spot of what to do to protect people. It will ultimately reduce the number of disaster deaths. There are useful applications existing already to be used after the disaster occurred. However, we think it is important to provide guidance on the spot as early as possible. This is why we came up with the idea to develop an application which has a better functions.
We conducted an online survey by using Google Forms and collected 65 university students' data both in Japan and Taiwan. And this is a sample of our survey questions.
From the questions, we have answered the questions: ways to gain information for disaster evacuation. The most people have answered the internet, and the second was TV. We have also asked other important functions to be added to our applications, including information on evacuation place, information on the location of family and friends, and to be able to use with different languages.
These are top 3 functions that respondents have chosen. First one, near location, it will show the location of safety place nearby. And second, the best route. By using the augmented reality function, it will guide you to the safety place. And third one, action suggestion. Notify users what you need to do after disaster occurs.
Now we would like to move on to the action plan of the actual application development to show how feasible our project is. There are 3 phases: short-term plan, mid-term plan, and long-term plan. Short-term plan is a fundamental procedure that builds the basics of the project, such as data collection, market research, and building the prototype. This procedure takes about a month. The midterm plan reflects on the results from the short-term plan to develop the application, such as improvements by user feedback from the prototype. This procedure will mainly take 2 months. Last but not least, for the long-term plan, its goal is to sustain quality and spread the applications as much as possible. For example, annual tests for sustaining quality in partnership with mobile device providers. This procedure will be done every year, annually.
In our conclusion, by developing this application, we will get fast information, high accuracy, and user-friendliness to decrease the impact to daily lives from the natural disasters.
From now on, we need to consider internet connection, improve application functions, and make it user-friendly.
The following are the references we have used for conducting our research. Please take a quick look for them. This is the end of our presentation. Now let's move on to the question and answer section. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Okay, well, since we're getting multiple questions, I would like to start answering from the top. Thank you, Alan, for your question. So your question is, do you have any solutions for the elderly people who can't use, sorry, it's kind of cut off. I think this is internet. So the question is, what's our solution for those elderly people who cannot use the internet? Well, to be honest, our research, our survey is mainly targeted towards the younger age group that is near us. For those people who has more understanding towards applications, developing and applications. So we actually didn't collect that much data from the elderly community, but for our future research, we would love to do some research on the elderly community and make our application more adaptable. But thank you for your question. Now we would like to move on to the next question. Thank you, Professor Kanda. What languages can we use in this application? For our research, we mainly did a research on the Japanese and Chinese community. So if we're going to use our data in order to make the application itself will be mostly focused on Japanese and Chinese. However, since Japan is becoming very global in recent years, we would like to conduct more research on other language group, other foreign communities, and make our application more adaptable to other communities, other languages. Thank you for your question. Next question. In Japan, I think thank you. Sorry, I can't. I think hazard map is familiar to us. How about your countries? And thank you for a nice presentation. Okay, thank you. So I think most of our group mates are Japanese, and the only foreigners are two of our group mates, Wendy and Emily, and they're from Taiwan. So I think I would pass this on to Emily for their opinion. So Emily, what do you think about hazard map in Taiwan? Is it familiar or is it not? What kind of image do you have on the hazard map in Taiwan?
I think hazard map here in Taiwan are not that familiar with everyone. So I think it may have success. It may have success in Japan, but not in Taiwan, I think.
All right. Well, that's it. Thank you for your questions. If there's more questions, we would love to discuss here with you guys on the discussion. But that's it for us. Thank you for your attention, and thank you. That's it for us.
Thank you for your next presentation. Let's move to the next presentation.